Hi, it is I, Andy, from gymnutrition.co.uk, back with another video, standing up on my bike, looking over at the glorious Northamptonshire countryside. And in today's video, back to the old subject about the old Sarms, me old babbies. So, I keep getting asked about PCT. Now, I have covered this in previous videos, I know, but not everyone watches all my videos, which, why the hell would you, to be fair? So, if you haven't, and you're wondering about PCT with Sarms, then here is my take on it. So, before I start, this is my own personal take, because what I've found personally, i.e. me taking Sarms, me taking PCT after Sarms Cycle, etc. Because, as you know, this video is for entertainment purposes, because I'm not qualified in anything. I'm not a real doctor. I'm not even a pretend doctor. I'm just little old me, taking me old Sarms now and then, doing me little old experiments and reporting the results to you guys for your viewing and audio pleasure, I suppose you want to call it. So, the only where do you start on this? I mean, I haven't really. Oh, not traffic. We're supposed to be in lockdown. We'll go out for a ride because there'll be no traffic around. It is lockdown. Therefore, I can just feel the wind. I nearly said in my hair, on my bald head. But this is the reality of the lockdown. The cars everywhere. So anyway, back on topic. The only way you are going to know whether you need a PCT is by having a blood test before to establish your hormone levels before you start anything. Yeah, before I started anything. Did I do that? No, I didn't. Okay, so I'm winging it basically. I'm making an educated guess on whether or not I want a PCT and what form that PCT is going to take. So you'll have to wing it too if you was to choose to go down that route. Let me just put it like that. So once you've established a baseline from your blood tests, I do believe you can get these blood tests online, but as I said, I haven't had one of these blood tests, so I wouldn't know. But let's just assume for the sake of this video you can get the blood tests online. So if you've established your hormonal levels, your natural hormone levels before you start, then that's great. So what you need to do then, or what I would need to do then, is run my course of Sarms and then repeat the same blood test and see what effect it's had on my hormonal levels, and that will give me more of an accurate look on whether I need a PCT or not. But like I said, didn't do that, so I'm winging it. So how did I wing it? Right, the mild Sarms like Ostarine will, in 90% of cases, cause very little, if any, shutdown. But that's, like I say, only about 90%, so you might be the 10% where it causes big shutdown. You're not going to know unless you do a blood test. So if you don't do a blood test, how will you know if you're shut down? Well, the chances are, when you finish it, your strength's going to go right down. Sex drive's a biggie with men, obviously. So if your sex drive is reasonably high, you're going to know your own sex drive. If it suddenly drops loads, then you need a PCT. If it doesn't drop loads, the chances are you probably, maybe, whatever, might not need a PCT, because your testosterone, estrogen levels might not have changed significantly enough to warrant taking a PCT. But I always like to err on the side of caution. So if I was taking an Ostarine cycle, even though I'm probably not going to be in that 10%, I'd like to think, of people that get shut down, I'm probably in the 90%, safe to say, if you're a betting man or not. So I would probably just err on the side of caution and take a natty PCT. So all these companies do natural PCTs, which you can buy off my website at gymnutrition.co.uk. You can buy them for anyone else's, and even eBay and Amazon and places like that all do these natty PCTs. So just have a little look at what's in them. They're all reasonably the same. Some have a bit more bits and baps in than another one, but for the sake of spending 20 quid, 20 English pounds, $25, whatever they cost over there, then it's not going to hurt. Even if you didn't need it, it's not going to it's not going to cause any detrimental effect to your gains or anything like that. But if you take it, it's just going to mean you spend another 20 quid. So if you was going to take a longer course, because bearing in mind, if I was doing Ostarine and I was going on for say 4 weeks, 4 weeks is not enough time to shut anybody down, I don't think. But then again, you might be the 10% where it does. But the chances are you're not going to shut down by staying on Ostarine with very little shutdown. And 4 weeks, that is not a long enough course to cause shutdown. Because whatever you take, you could take the harshest steroid in the world, and it's not going to, you're not going to like consume this steroid and then the following day you're going to have like 100% shutdown. This is dose related and duration related. So for every week you stay on something that could possibly cause shutdown, you will have a probably maybe have a slight downgrade with every week. So if you're on for 4 weeks, you're not downgrading long enough to make an effect. Probably maybe. But if you're on for 20 weeks, then every little tiny downgrade week after week after week, 20 weeks is going to add up to a reasonable amount of downgrade. So you're more likely to want a PCT. Now, when I took Ostarine, natty PCT, when I took, in fact the first time I don't even think I took a PCT and I felt perfectly fine after it. Rab 140, I didn't take a PCT either. What else did I take? Rab 140 and YK11 together. I did take a natty PCT because I heard that YK11 can cause a reasonable amount of shutdown. And when I took LGD, I also took a natural PCT. Now bearing in mind I'm 55 years of age, so I was probably 53 when I took the LGD and YK and the rest of it, 53, 54, whatever. And I will not bounce back. In other words, if my levels are suppressed, my hormone levels are suppressed and my estrogen's high or whatever, then I'm not going to bounce back as quickly in my 50s as what I would have done in my 20s. I could take in my 20s, you know, testosterone Deca for 10-12 weeks, come off, no PCT, absolutely fine, no noticeable shutdown whatsoever. But now in my 50s, things are a lot different. But this is the aging process, isn't it? You don't bounce back with anything, exercise, or you know, if you whatever you sprain a muscle or you know pull a tendon or whatever, it takes you a lot longer to recover than what it did back in the day. It's just how it is, you know, get over it. So if I was going to use a longer cycle and I was going to include, I'm going to take everything, I'm going to take, you know, I'm going to take Ostarine, but I'm going to take LGD, Rab 140, YK11, I might as well throw in an MK677 and a Cardarine as well. Not that those last two will cause any shutdown, because they don't. And I'm going to stay on for, instead of doing 8 weeks, I'm going to do like, I don't know, 20 weeks, whatever. So I would, not that I've done all that by the way, but if I was to do that, I would then probably go for the meds route, i.e. if I could get hold of it, it would be something like a metrazole to keep the estrogen low, and then I would take HCG, kickstart your testosterone again, and I'd probably take Clomid as well. So I'd probably take a combination of those three. So because I haven't done them, I'm not going to go into, well, I've done this, I've done that, and I've done that for so many weeks, and I took that amount, because I haven't done none of that. So therefore, I'm not going to go into it what I haven't done. But you get the idea. A little bit of Sarms for a short amount of time, probably okay for 90%. A little bit more duration, a little bit stronger Sarms, definitely a natty PCT. If the natty PCT doesn't work, sex drive's still low after a month, say, for argument's sake, then you probably will want to Google and look at the meds route, what I just mentioned. But anyway, I hope that's useful. I'm not going to go on anymore because I'm just arrived at my destination. So on that note, if you've got to the end, thank you very much, and please consider subscribing because I've got to pay for this motorbike. And on that note, engine off, and I'll speak to you on the next one.